Hi everyone, Tom Vogel, Wrestling's Finest, PC Pro Wrestling game. I believe this is going to be my last video for our version 3 new features. This is going to be the fourth one, and a lot of it, I can show you a couple of them, some I'm just going to have to tell you about. First thing right here is on the screen. I did start a match here and kind of zipped it ahead to show you a couple things. First thing is in the tail of the match. In the singles matches, you have 6 things it's going to keep track of. Tag team, it adds 2 more: double team attempts and double team successes. Don't pay too much attention to this because I've been flying through this match. But one thing I wanted to show you here was when certain stamina levels are reached, what happens is now, and you can turn it on or off right here, I'm going to show you. It's show stamina level change text. Once they hit a certain level, and then every one after that, you're going to get a text file that will just kind of give you a visual to let you know that an individual or a team is really taking a beating or struggling. So here in this match, you see right here, I'm going to highlight it for you. The Rock and Roll Express hit one of their higher stamina levels, and it says Rock and Roll Express continued to take a sound beating in this match. Now, what does that mean? It just basically means that they got to the next stamina level and things aren't looking good for them. And so what does it mean as far as the program? Not a thing, but as a gamer, it kind of alerts you that they're in the next stamina level. And the second thing is that it lets you kind of gives you a visual of how they're doing. And the first time it gets hit, the text isn't as, it just says maybe Rock and Roll Express need to rethink their strategy. But each time you get to another level, and I think it caps after a certain one, you're going to get a little bit more of a drastic saying, like team could be dead on their feet. And I think I actually stole a couple Gordon Sully ones just to keep Gordon's memory alive. So I wanted to show you those couple things there. Next thing I wanted to talk about is match time. I believe I've talked it to death on the main screen, or I'm sorry, on the wrestler selection screen, where we have that new button that says set time limit, and then it shows you all the times you click the one, you click OK, and then below the time button it will tell you what you selected. So it gives you all kinds of reminders. First of all, the button's there. Second of all, it's a colorful box. Third of all, if you forget to set the time, it's going to say no time limit, so that could be a hint you didn't set it. But let's say you get through all that and you get to this screen, you still got one more shot. You can set time limit here. It's grayed out now because the match has started. That's where we used to set the time for all our matches, was actually on this screen. All this is now is a backup, kind of like an emergency if you forgot. Now, if you forgot on the other screen, you sped through it, and you get to this one, and you still forgot, sorry, you're on your own. You're just going to have to start the match over. I mean, we can't give you reminders every place. I think somebody a long time ago had asked if maybe during the match, if you forgot, you could change it during the match. And no, that's never happening. If you forget, with all the hints we now have, basically start over or just play the match with no time limit. So I want to talk about that one. So that one's taken care of. Next thing is new ratings formula, and where you find that is under statistics. And I think if I call this up, my screen's going to go off a while, but you basically just click wrestler ratings. Oh, there it is. And you can either do, if you want tag teams, which it is now, the box is checked, and if you want to go singles, you just uncheck it. And every team in here now has a rating like it always had, but the difference now is we added, I wish I could remember because I did this quite a while ago. We added, I think, 2 or 3 new categories. I know I took away at least 1, maybe 2. I think it was just 1. Yeah, it was just 1. And what else? Oh, and then we reweighted some of the things, meaning everything has a a factor. So like if you earn 8 out of 10 points, some of the things you get to multiply it by 3, maybe 2, maybe just 1 if I didn't think it was that important. But the top ones you actually multiply by 5. So if it's one of the top things, which would be your pin rating, and you scored an 8 out of 10, now you would take 8 times 5 for 40, where I think a legal pin is only a 1. So if you scored 8 points on that, you would only get 8 points. So 40 versus 8, just to let you know which categories are more important. Other thing to keep in mind, all of the ratings now are higher. I mean, across the board, just because we added more things and we upped the value. So nobody went down unless I re-rated them drastically. And I honestly, I don't remember how far they would have gone up. Might have been like 30, 40 points in some cases, but I just don't remember, because I mean, if you have your old game, you could go compare, if you wanted to go look singles up, see what he is in the old one, then see what he is now. Not everybody went up the same level, because it depended on their rating, but everybody will have a higher rating. I think in some upcoming video I might show you how you can copy and paste all the ratings to a spreadsheet, and then if you want to sort them, you can then go top to bottom to see. And I know that will always bring up a lot of controversy on how is this guy only rated this high, and that's okay, because I mean, wrestler ratings are subjective in that area. I've always said you have to rate the wrestler and let the rating fall where it may be. Now, if somebody comes along and says, well, this guy's only rated at 140, shouldn't he be higher because he was at least in this guy's category? That is true, and I do take a look at the rating. And if there's something I can legitimately change because I think the wrestler deserves a change, I'll do it. But I'm not just going to change stuff to bump his rating up. If his, game rating, what he has successful holds, his specials, whatever it may be, if they look good, I'm keeping it the same, and we'll just have to live with the rating. That was the other thing I wanted to point out. Couple things I don't believe I can show you very easily, but you know what? I'm going to finish this match because I want to show you something. So bear with me for just a minute. I'm going to put you on pause. Okay, so in this example here, I jumped ahead and we have a double drop kick, and the Road Warriors are 40, 40, 40. So let's just hope we get a pin here, because that's what I'm trying to show you. So we got a 1, 2, 3. We're going to click done, and then I got to bring this in just a little bit. So this is what you get. This was a world title match. So here, Rock and Roll Express answered the critics with an awe-inspiring showing today that shows why they are the world champions. Notice world champions. It's going to take a great team to beat them, meaning this text was different than if it just had been a title match. Don't pay any attention to the star rating, because I was basically canceling everything just because I wanted to get to some things to show you. So every title match you have, you will get this type of message to come up. If you have it where, I think I showed you in the last video where you can make it a title match and not have either wrestler or team a champion. You might say, well, how can that be? Well, what if a title is held up, or you're in a tournament and the winner of the match is going to become the new champion, or you're creating a new territory for the first time? You'll get a box specific, meaning it will say the title that was held up was earned in this hard-fought match by Bob Armstrong. I don't even know why I'm saying Bob Armstrong, by Roddy Piper. If for some reason there was an inconclusive winner, like a no contest, you'll even get the message saying, unfortunately, the belt will continue to be held up due to this finish. So kind of a neat little thing when you exit out of this. And if I already showed you this before in another video, I apologize. I just can't remember if I had. You also will see the same text right here, but the pop-up box is kind of a neat touch. So wanted to show you that. Other thing, I don't know if I can show you this because I don't know if I have any. Delete tournament. Very easy, much easier to delete tournaments Like I'm going to delete this one. So all my tournaments, I don't think I can delete anymore. And you notice how Gary put a neat color box here at the end, or when this comes up, he wanted to get away from that gray. So that's another little visual change. A lot of us may never notice, but it's in there. So we're done. The other thing, you can also do this on a match card, delete match card, and you can go up here, test 3. I'm going to select that. I'm going to click delete, and voila, no more cards are available. So it's a very much easier, cleaner way to do it. Another touch Gary did on that. Royal Rumble, I can't really demonstrate it because you got to go through it for a while. But what Gary did is Gary years ago put in the Royal Rumble. I think it was actually a free update at one time. But anyway, he put in the Royal Rumble, and he actually went and, not being the biggest wrestling fan, he went and watched some Royal Rumbles, and he put in the system that's been in for a few years now, and he was playing around with it, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, and he just thought that the Royal Rumble was maybe a little too much like the Battle Royal, or not like the Battle Royal, but that the toss-outs occurred at about the same rate. And in his film study, I mean, Gary did some film study here on this. He noticed that, in a Royal Rumble, when the guys run in every minute and a half or 2 minutes, whatever it is, eventually you would have 9, 10, 11 guys in the ring. Well, he thought that we were having too many situations where we didn't have enough guys in the ring. You'd have 3, then 4, then 3, then 2, and it was kind of hard to get the numbers up. So he made some subtle adjustments to that, and you should see, if you run Royal Rumbles, you should see at times more wrestlers in the ring. I played around with it, and I definitely could tell there was a difference. So that was pretty cool what Gary did. And I think he also might have cleaned up just, the presentation a little bit of the Rumble and the Battle Royal. So, again, when you get in there, you should be able to possibly notice it. Last thing tonight, we're going to look at all the top lines. Now under match setup, you start just like before. I think it was wrestle. Now it's match setup. Start new single, tag team, battle royal, tag team, and Royal Rumble. Wrestling card intangible check. That's the thing you check before when your card is, say you have a 7-match card and you're getting ready for it to start. You do the match intangible. However, what you really need to do is before you enter your card information, you kind of got to just scribble it out real quick, then do your match intangible, because if something changes, like say one of the wrestlers doesn't show up in the 4th match, you haven't set your card up already, using the card feature, because you can't make changes once you have it done. So what I do is I just scribble my card out real quick, just use initials, and then I quick do the intangible check, and if something happens, then I can make my changes that you would be forced to make. Then I go ahead and create my card. So for example, here all seems good in moods, and we can start on schedule. You're done. You're good. Now I could create my card feature in the game. Let's see what else is under here. Oh, we have our manage wrestler sets, and I just created a new one the other day. I did my Georgia. Little hint, I always put an A in front of what I create just so it's at the top and I don't have to scroll down, because we do have a lot of sets, and I know some people may not like as many, but they really are separated where they should be. And here's the other thing: when you download your wrestler sets, you can just download the ones you want, and not, if you're not going to use a certain set, don't download them. So that's entirely up to you to what you want to do with that. But just keep in mind, keep your wrestler sets in a safe place, as if you change your mind, it's a real, if I had 30 people, hey Tom, I decided to use these and I deleted it, takes a lot of time to get all that stuff, get it sent back off. So you really need to keep your wrestlers in a safe place should you decide you want to go put in a different file. But anyway, it's still the same. You choose a wrestler set the wrestler's desired, press the add button, just like nothing's changed there. That's pretty much it for the match setup. Now the next new change is classic or match details. Now you'll notice if you compare this to your old game, this is really cleaned up, and I don't even know where to start on this. You see the stuff that's grayed out? That means once the match starts, you cannot change any of that. If you want to trade holds at any time, you can always go, during the match, what you do is you would click wrestler trades. If you want to retrade out or change whatever you're doing, you can. So you always have that option. There's the non-disclosure. The default is always that it's off. See, here it is actually. If you do a non-disclosure, you see everything's covered up. So when you start this match, you are wrestling in the dark, which I think is the most pure way to play this game, because every decision you make now is based on, excuse me, I didn't mean to do that, is based on what you think and what you believe and gut feeling. You're not getting any cheats here, knowing what your opponent's pin rating is, or even what yours is. Maybe you're going to do a strategy card because your pin rating's getting really bad and you're afraid you're going to lose. Now you don't know. So you can always turn it on and off at any time. Like there, it's back off now. So keep in mind that a lot of your defaults that I talked about in the last video are already set up. You can always go in and override them. The time you're going to want to use the tournament DQ rules maybe is if you want the heel who's challenging for a title. That one is not automatically set, and I didn't want it to be automatically set because some people, I try to listen, don't always agree, but this one, I see the point where some people don't feel heels should get to use tourney DQ rules. I do in a world title match, but I could see maybe in a territory the argument not. So that is not a default. You have to set that if you want it. But remember, if it's the face challenger, it's automatically set. Same with the reduced DQ reduction. Some cases it will be turned off, but most of the time it's going to be on for both wrestlers. Let's see what else. Set injured wrestler, I had talked about that previously. Of course, once the match starts, you cannot select that. So if during the match you hurt the wrestler, or like hurts his leg and he has to trade holds, you go ahead and do it, and that's where you would go up and trade it here. Say it was the Rock and Roll Express, you would go in and make your trades for whatever the game told you to trade from, or trade out of, and trade what you should trade to. But if you watch the other video, the one I think before this, it did talk about ways you can use the injured wrestler setting. Other thing, one final thing, match description tells you about all the matches, what they are. That's also on the wrestler selection screen. You'll notice here, we get to match cards. Play a match card if you have one set up. Remember the shortcut's F3. You can create one, you can delete one like I showed you, and then here's the create magazine covers. There's 14 magazines now and 16 posters. I forgot Gary put some more in there. All kinds of them. I really like that feature. I think that was a freebie Gary threw in too. I think I asked him, he probably should have charged for it, but he didn't think so, and so it was a freebie. Tournaments, play tournament, create tournament, delete tournament, same. Remember the create tournament now has a 32-man bracket. I think you'll like that. I know I will. View, this is where you can look at the strategy cards, the last 5 results, even though it's here on the screen. The current match blow by blow gives you a summary of everything that happened. Kind of a cool feature there. This is the one I really like. You can view saved matches if you have any. Trade hold recommendations. We talked about that in a previous one. So we're going to click done there. Here's the match information. Tells you all the settings. Kind of gives you a summary of each guy. It tells you who's controlling, DQ reduction is on, off, whatever it may be. So it's kind of a nice little check you can use before the match. The other thing is the matchup here. And again, that's based on their ratings. Look how close these two teams are rated, by the way. You got 189 to 190. But I want to show you something on that. That's kind of cool. So keep in mind 190. Let's just see something here. We're going to go tag team, and let's scroll down to master, and let's scroll down to Rock and Roll Express. Look at that, 253. Well, how can that be, Tom? Well, it's because when you combine everything here, it goes down to a 190. So just thought I'd share that with you. Next thing is, let's see what else we have. The bios, we've got more that are in the game now. Let's see here. Let's do Georgia. Sorry. And then we're going to scroll down here to, let's do Bob Armstrong. Some of these are under the old system, but now what we've done is we've simplified the whole process. And like here, I know Don did this one. Height, weight, date of birth, year of death, he hadn't died yet, hometown Omaha, and pretty good job here Don put in there. It's a good summary of the stuff. Later on, we'll probably go to a phase 2 where we can add managers, notable feuds, memorable moments, titles, territories, more information. But we found from the first time we did the bio, the more we had, the less we got done. So that's their statistics. Might end up doing a video on the different statistics. I did show you the wrestler ratings, save cumulative stats, but you can just play around with these. Nothing has really changed here. I'm going to skip options for a minute. Quick start, please read this. Put a lot of time in trying to get this set up. Here's part of it. It's a great guide to get you started. I know everybody just wants to jump in and play. Quick start guide for a title match is there. Just please, I think it's very helpful, and we did spend some time in putting that together. Computer help PDF is here. Gary did a great job with this. Again, kind of walks you through a lot of stuff. This is where you register. This tells you your version. Now, options. Options are pretty important. I always go single event display. I don't like full. I use strategy cards, or luck cards as Herman calls them. I have the cut limit set. I usually turn that off in specialty matches, but I can see if you want to leave it on because it could keep your feud going. These are all the pop-up boxes. I do not show the fast action cards, but if you did, they will not be on the screen. They'll be down if you go to your lower, down to where your bottom line menu is. If you click on the crown, you will see the fast action card. I show the computer strategy cards, but sometimes I turn them off when I'm playing against the computer. That way I have no idea what the computer has. It keeps them blank, which I think is kind of cool, because then I can't plan my strategy. The show stamina level text is what I showed you. You can turn that off. I did the old style TV last time. And then show matchup at the start. If you don't want it, you can turn it off. Match info you can turn off. Show match rating you can turn off. Here you can change the speed of your pin. Some of you go faster, some slow. None of that actually changed in this. Sounds, you can turn them on or off. Here's the color options. It's basically up to you to play around with what you like, don't like. Ooh, that's kind of a nice one. Might use that one. The other thing is reset pop-up positions. I believe that's new. A lot of the pop-up boxes you can actually click and drag to wherever you want them to appear on your screen, and they will stay there. Now, if you want to go back to where they originally were, you just hit reset pop-ups, and they will go back. Pretty cool feature. You'll notice Gary also a long time ago put in where your mouse clicker goes where most likely you're going to click. And in this version here, he put in where you can. I can't remember which pop-up ones you can move, but I think most of them you can. So that's everything in options. I'm up to 25 minutes. Probably should say goodbye, good night. Let me just look at my notes real quick. Yeah, I think I nailed everything I wanted to talk about on this one. Next one I'm going to do, I might show you the spreadsheet I kept rambling about on the last one for the post-match injury, the wrestler injured option for both injuries suffered during the match or trading holds during the match. And then for tournaments, if a guy gets wore down, but I'll explain that in detail. And then also, I'll show you the overall card rating system I have. And I'm going to email that spreadsheet to everyone, and I'm also going to post it at the forum. I'll probably do that before I talk about it. So that will be upcoming. And then I also need to do a text file discussion, talk about all the text files in the game. But those will be upcoming. But for now, I'm going to say goodnight. Appreciate you hanging out with me here for a little bit. Again, my email is one word, lowercase, Tommy, TOMMYV, as in Victor, 33 at att.net. Again, that's Tommy V 33 at att.net. Please visit us at our Delphi forum. You can just type in Delphi, DELPHI forum, Wrestling Finest, and it should take you right to our forum. Excellent people there, knowledge of wrestling like you won't believe. We talk about the game. We have all kinds of projects going on. And last time I said I thought we might have the best forum. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say we have the best. No political, very, very, very little bickering. Usually that's probably my fault if there is, or my brother Herman's, but just great guys. And they're very eager to talk about the game and answer questions. So, again, thank you for joining me tonight. Hope the rest of your evenings or day, whenever you're watching this, is good. And Tom Vogel, Wrestling's Finest, PC Pro Wrestling Game. Good night.